Is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I'll just manage there. Yeah. So that is also started. Hello. Okay. So let's start with some of the examples of cyber physical systems. I think most of you know me. I have been for the students from IIIT, for the research scholar from the institute. They know me well, but other people, we have been interacting for quite some time through emails. Like I am Superintendent, Professor of Mechanical Engineering at Indian Institute of Information Technology Design and Manufacturing, and I'm one of the course coordinators along with Professor Gupta. So we'll be taking the examples of cyber physical system, and just give me 1 second. So whatever theory part Professor Imre has talked to you, told you, will be just exemplifying by some case studies, some practical examples. To be very honest, many of you know about those things. Some of you might be knowing slightly in detail. Some of you must be have an idea about the terms, but may not be knowing in practice what is happening. So that's what I'll try to do, and I'll try to begin with some basic introduction, which is like summarizing what Professor Imre has said. I've just now prepared this based upon his lecture with the blocks I've covered. Probably I may be slightly, there may be some typo or something over there because I have just prepared in quite heavy. But let's see. So when we talk about cyber physical system, it is nothing but a system which integrates the, let's look at the term itself. So there is a term called cyber, there is a term called physical, and there is a term called system. So physical is what is actually happening. So for example, if you are watching matches of IPL, so the teams are playing actually in the ground. They are being live streamed, and you may be watching sitting at home at maybe through some like Star Plus network, or if you are watching through OTT, you will be looking at Disney Hotstar, and that is being connected. So if you look at the term also, there's a physical system and there's a cyber system. Cyber system, all of us know, there's basically internet. And so that is basically, it integrates the physical system or physical process through some networking and through some computation. So the backbone of this entire thing is there must be having some embedded computers and some embedded networks, which will not only monitor, but also control the physical processes. And there must be certain feedback loops where the physical process affects the computation and the vice versa. So cyber physical system, together with the Internet of Things, big data, cloud computing, industrial wireless networks, are the core technologies of Industry 4.0. So this is how a cyber physical system looks like. So we have, I think you can see my mouse pointer. So we have a computation network, we have communication, we have control, and everything is connected to information. So information is the backbone of the cyber physical system, because through information, a physical system is connected to internet, which is a cyber system. This is how it works actually in actual. So you can see there in the bottom level, we have 3 different factories, industries, where this box is for the yellow and green is for a machine, and this is for the product. And you can see like we have the Wi-Fi signals going over there. So whatever work is being done by the machine, that is goes into the cloud. Whatever data is generated over here, that also goes to the cloud and comes back also. So this is first factory, the second factory, and this is third factory, and all three factories are connected over this cloud to Internet of Things. And in Internet of Things, we also process some services. Maybe, for example, if you are making some product, maybe you are making CAD model of a particular product, and either you're not able to do it, or it is not correct. So through services which is basically checking or validating your CAD model, it can check and let you know whether the CAD model is correct or not. If you're facing some problem, that problem will be also rectified. And since this data is big, so you need a big data tools also to manage it. Interestingly, uh, you'll be surprised to know that the largest amount of data is generated by a manufacturing system. So probably the best application of big data is for the manufacturing industry only. And that is why I used to tell my computer science students that if mechanical engineers learn computer science, they may take your job. But if you don't learn how a mechanical system or how an electrical system works, probably you will become obsolete very fast. Because you know some tools, but where you have to apply that tools, that information you have to learn hardcore. And that is the advantage, or that is the importance of a manufacturing system, because manufacturing system is probably the largest generator of data, and that's why it's a resource or it's a source of big data which can be managed by different tools. So coming to some examples of cyber physical system, this is a concept of smart factory, or what we call a smart manufacturing. If you look at the bottom half of this tool, which is a traditional factory, so in a traditional factory, the raw material comes, this is input raw material, this is output finished products. So then you have some machine where the raw material is converted to semi-finished product. Some these semi-finished products are barcoded, or with the camera, the information is captured, or through RFID reader, the information is being captured. Then it becomes a finished product, goes to assembly line. The workers maybe do quality checking or pick up from here. Then we have a finished product, again, which are read by a barcode reader or an RFID reader or a camera, and then this data is fed to through wireless network to some enterprise resource planning or manufacturing enterprise systems, MES or ERP. Parallelly, these goods are transported, and they are transported to a warehouse where we keep the finished good raw material, and from there it is being picked and transported to the actual end user. If you look at this system, whether this machine, whether the assembly line, whether the workers, where the factory environment, where the wireless network, where the warehouse, everything is not monitored. They're all isolated, maybe like you can say islands in a factory, not connected, not monitored to a centralized system. Only thing you do a monitoring is from at the site from these things. And this blue dots lines are the data which is flowing. So from raw material, the data goes to the barcode reader. From semi-finished product goes to the barcode reader. Finished with the barcode reader, then this data is passed for wireless to ERP or MES system. On the contrary, if you look at a smart factory, as soon as the raw material enters, the data goes to a reader, and whenever we have a machine which is converted a semi-finished product to a raw material to semi-finished product, this is connected to IoT, and it goes to the wireless network. And in the process, the factory environment like temperature, noise, and humidity also comes to the system over here, which collects the data, and then this data is passed to MES or ERP systems. Same way, if you look at the finished product, you talk of workers, you talk of transportation, everything is connected. These green lines are data, which is the new links added over conventional factory. And because now everything is like from this stage to this stage, everything is connected over internet. So we have, that leads to a lot of data. We have big data or big data center, and this leads to like collection of data and managing of everything over a entire system. The smart factory, it's basically a combination of various technologies and solution, and it works in a manufacturing ecosystem. Basically, all these technologies and solutions we talk about, they are not named, they're enablers. So still the heart of everything is the the manufacturing operation. Without manufacturing operation, nothing is going to happen. And with this manufacturing operation only, we will have some enablers which will make sure that the entire process is uh, connected through internet. So you can see there's a golden handshake between the factory and the human being through data. This leads to a concept of what we call as Industry 4.0, or what Professor Imre has told us. One part of Industry 4.0 is cyber physical production system. So smart manufacturing has basically three different dimensions. There is smart factory, there is digital thread, and there is a value chain management. Smart factory will have business intelligence, connected enterprise systems, smart apps, controllers, operation data, information output data, and information technology bridges, and smart machine sensor tooling. So these are all connected. Detailed threads will have specification management, operation management, and service management. While value-added chain management will have supplier management, resource management, compliance management, and customers management. So these are all integrated uh, together to make the system as a smart manufacturing. Then if you transform data into value, so we have data, the data is captured, data is ingested, then it is curated, all noise is removed, it is stored and optimized. So whenever we talk of data, so data is like something, for example, you have different numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1, 2, 5, 7 lying at random. But once you put, for example, 9, 8, 3, 4, 5, 7, 0, 0, 2, 3, 10 digits in order, that becomes a mobile number. Individually, all these 9, 8, 0, 7, 3, 4, these are all random data. So data, the difference between data and information is the value being added to the data, so that when some data becomes meaningful, it becomes information. So that's what is even smart manufacturing trying to do. So through these factories, we are trying to collect some data. We remove noise. That means we curate this data. We store this data and optimize this data. Then the insights are, there is some insight creation from smart analytics, and there is a value generation through business solution based upon this data, which is now curated and optimized, and some insights are developed based upon the analysis of the data being done. So that is the core behind the smart manufacturing, that is transforming data into value. So, and what are the tools which we use? For converting data into value, or to converting manufacturing into smart manufacturing, we require the usage of right tools. And these tools are AI, artificial intelligence, ML, machine learning, Internet of Things, analytics. And apart from this, we also require big data, cybersecurity, which has become very critical because everything is happening on the internet. And if it is not secure, some hacker can access your data and maybe produce wrong components, or maybe stop your factory altogether. And then we have supply chain 4.0. I'll discuss this also in later. So these are some of the tools and technologies: AI, ML, DL, deep learning also, IoT, analytics, blockchain, cybersecurity, supply chain, which is required. And this is like supply chain 4.0. Supply chain is basically, like, if I take a simple example, like all of you eat, for example, vegetables. So the farmers grows the vegetable. Those vegetables, after being curated, they goes to the mandis, where the middleman, they pool it, and they go to the market, where the wholesalers or maybe retailers purchase from them. Then these wholesalers, if they purchase by wholesaler, they goes to the retailers. If it purchased by retailers, or maybe directly the people, the vegetable cart puller person, they are being put, and then those vegetables come to your houses where you, or maybe your mothers or your wives if they're married, they purchase those vegetables and they use for cooking purpose. So this is what you call in simple word supply chain. Supply chain is much broader from this. I'm just taking a very simple example because supply chain will also include the flow of fertilizers, how the water system goes. So if that is being converted through internet or through smart tools, smart technologies, it will become supply chain 4.0. Look at this thing. So there is a factory, and factory has automated systems. So they are machines which give feedback on the current production capacities. Then from these factories, the goods are transported to this warehouse, and these are transported through autonomous vehicles. So we know and all this data is sent to the cloud. You can see like there's overarching, there's full transparency of data. There's a watch on the performance. So there's system which is a person sitting in front of the computer. This is a computer who is watching the entire performance of the system, and they are like you have a data about the sale prices, weather, channel, events, and you can even forecast it, and you can see all data is being done. So these are autonomous vehicles. You can see there's not, and this is also connected to internet, and through system we know the exact location of these, so they cannot be tampered. Nobody can carry, suppose the factory makes very costly thing, so nobody can steal this good, because if this conveyor autonomous vehicle, rather than going over here, it goes to this place, the people will immediately know that the autonomous truck has transversed it path. It has moved away from the path, and they will immediately follow it. Then it goes to automated warehouses where robots do the picking. They mark the goods, they tag these goods, and then these tags can be like taken by either drones or by predictive shipping, and then they can go for the smaller uh, warehouses. Also, is a big warehouse. So, for example, this warehouse is in Delhi, but then from here it can go to, for example, Chandigarh. It can go to from here to Jabalpur. So these are smaller where we have automatic reconfiguration of the network, and the products can be delivered through drones also. And while these are being transported, the customer can on the spot change the uh, reroute the shipping or change the order. So suppose while you have placed the order, you are placed in Jabalpur, the supplier started, but then because of some reason you have moved to, for example, Nagpur. So you will immediately inform, and product will be delivered to you at Nagpur rather than at Jabalpur. That's the beauty of uh, even smart supply chain, which we call supply chain 4.0. And they know that certain period of time the orders are less. So if you place your order during that particular period, you will get an additional discount also. Then we have smart homes, which like one of the simplest application, and which is like from where the concept of IoT has come. Now the IoT has changed to IIoT. IoT is mainly Internet of Things, which take care of simple things. But when it's being connected to industrial things, it becomes industrial Internet of Things. So you have your mobile phone through which you can control all the activities in your house. For example, you can control the camera located, for example, in your garage or in your homes. You can control the temperature of your home. You can control the window panels. You can control the lighting. You can control the refrigerators. You can control the television or the home theaters. You can control the washing machine. You can control the heating system. You can control the doors of the garage, and most importantly, you can even control the locking and unlocking of the main door of your system. So you can see this house in the basement. The washing machine is being placed, and there's a heating system. This is your office with a home theater and your kitchen, and this is your bedroom, the washroom. So all these send some data, this data, and this data is stored over cloud from where your mobile phone access. And through your mobile phone, you can take your mobile phone and say that, okay, I don't want to, I'm starting from my office now. It's very hot. So you switch on the AC so that when you enter the your house, your house has become cool and comfortable. Or you can switch on your electrical kettle so that when you reach over there, the water is hot, you can immediately make tea, or maybe you can switch on your rice cooker so that when you reach home, the rice is properly cooked. Only thing you have to make sure is that you have put the rice priorly into the cooker. Otherwise, cooker will just burn and maybe it not cook rice. Same way, you can start your washing machine. So when you leave home, you can just put the laundry into the washing machine, close it, and go. So when you start back, suppose you have to drive back from the office to home for 30 minutes. Meanwhile, you can start the washing machine, and by the time you reach home, your clothes will be washed and dried. The only thing you have to do is you have to just dry them into the air so that the remaining moisture goes out, and you can use it for maybe ironing or next usage also. So everything is controlled, and that is what we call a smart home. So this is where all the appliances and devices are automatically controlled, and that too remotely, just with the help of some internet. You can control through a desktop computer, you can control through a laptop, you can control through a mobile phone. But you have to make sure is that all these devices, as well as your mobile phone, is connected to internet, and they have access to the same cloud where the information is being accessed. You can also have security access. So some of your friend has reached home and you are not aware, but you rely him. So you can, from your mobile phone, you can switch on the door. Your friend can go inside your home and rest by the time you come back. It's not that he has to come to your office to get the physical keys from you. So smart homes can be both wireless as well as hardwired. The wireless are obviously easier to install, but hardwired, as we know, is they are more reliable and typically more difficult to hack. So if you have slightly complex system, it is always advisable to go for hardwired system because of the security being provided or because the reliability of those systems. Then we have smart wearables. So smart wearables are some electronic devices, mainly sensors and actuator based, which perform certain functions. So for example, you have smart glasses. I think you must have heard of Google glasses, where even they can capture the photographs also. They can adjust based upon the environmental conditions. We have smart shirt, which can have the respiration system. So if you're working in a very hot environment, very hot and humid environment, so they will make the shirt dry so that you have better breathing space and you will not feel too humid. Smart shirts are also decent design. They're into test stages where they can even monitor your heart rate functioning, the resting heart rate, the working heart rate. And in case anyone is having any problem, the signals can go to the hospital, go to the doctor. Smart watch is very common these days. So how many steps you're walking, what is the heart rate, what is your SpO2 level, what is your breathing level, what is the noise level you are listening. Everything is being recorded in these smart watches, and everything is connected to internet. You can store and see over there. You have a Bluetooth key tracker also, a very common problem with most of the people, that we keep keys somewhere and then we don't know where we have kept. So with Bluetooth tracker, you can know where you have key. Take this. The same way I face particularly very frequent problem. So in particular, when I go home and try to wash my face after a hectic day, I most of the time I keep my specs at some obsolete location, and then I keep on searching where I kept my specs. And specs are not mobile phone where you can give a ring and find out that your specs are kept over there. So I'm the one very strong proponent where I want to make my specs also smart so that at least I can track them where I kept. Same way, smart shoes, which when you walk through the energy harvesting system, they can generate electricity also. And these are available in the market. And good systems are they generate so much electricity that they can charge your mobile phone. Good. So same way, smart socks, which can sense the level of sweat you have covered. If you have any injury in the foot, some sores, anything that they can sense. They can, if it's serious, they can send message to the hospitals or doctors. Otherwise, they can uh, they can take corrective action on their own. Same way, we have smartphones, smart belt. We have SDPS or GPS, baby control. We have smart bracelet, smart fingers, smart rings. So in the ring also, which is everything is smart, we have availability of these things. So these are, as I told you, these are electronic technology or devices which are incorporated into some of these products so that they can be comfortably worn on the body. And they're primarily meant to track information on real-time basis. So for example, when you're walking, your GPS location, the number of steps you have walked, your heartbeat rate, the pace at which you're walking, the location, whether you're walking in the campus or whether you're walking near the airport or railway station, everything will be captured by this information. And they have motion sensors that take the snapshot of day-to-day activity and sync them with mobile devices or laptop computers. Then we have smart classrooms. So smart classrooms are consist of again multiple devices. We have interactive panel or IWB. We have classroom PA, public announcement system, which will have hanging mic, a PA.
Hello, hello.
Seems some network issue.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So let me, I'm sorry, some internet disruption and because of it, it's gone. Okay, so this was the screen we were talking about. So then smart classrooms we have talked about. So Smart classrooms are new types of classes where you have just give me- is it live streaming? Is it recording? I think yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, recording.
It is also. Let me check
It
this.
is on, it is on, both the things.
YouTube also.
Yeah.
Voice is not coming. ठीक है, sorry. Okay. So these classrooms are basically have multiple data displays, tabs, whiteboards, and many assistive learning devices, and multiple audio, video components, so that the lectures become easier, engaging, and more interactive. So I was giving you an example that this session is also like a smart classroom. I'm sitting in my office. You are sitting at different parts of the country, and in the real time, you're able to attend this lecture, and parallelly, this is being broadcasted over YouTube also, be on the YouTube channel of the institute. Anybody can see these lectures later on also. Then, like smart automotive application is very interesting. You know, like most of you have been talking about autonomous guide vehicles, where people talk about this will be the future of industry. All the cars will not be driven by any human being, but driven by the computers. Although they're still in the test phase because certain accidents have occurred, not serious but minor, and researchers are working to overcome those challenges which are coming. But there are big players working on this. Like for example, Google is working with Waymo, Apple is working, and Facebook is working. There are many companies which are working on this. So this is a car which will be converted into a smart car, so-called. So they have some sensors which will perceive some external data backside, and then this will be uh, sent to the cloud through connectivity, where the internet will connect between vehicle to vehicle and vehicle to infrastructure. And on the other hand, we have certain software algorithms, we have middleware, there's some mappings which stores and update the geological infrastructure. If, for example, which place this car is moving, that will be collected from the geological data. Is it moving from the narrow lanes, or is it close to big buildings, or is it going close to a school?
हाँ
Collected from the
ठीक
uh,
है
that will be collected from the infrastructure information. And we have processors like electronic control units or mechanical control units will process data to take decisions, and everything will be converted to actuators, which will take prompt action based on computed results. Among this, the boxes which are covered with a boundary like this, sensors, mapping, and software algorithm, they are the key control units of these autonomous vehicles. So these are the key elements which take control actions. This is like a self-driving car. You can say this will the dashboard of a self-driving car looks like. You will have connected to a mobile phone, connected to different lights, the road information, the vehicle coming from the forward, from the front, the ECU unit, the humidity level, the signals which are being transported, everything will be circulated, and you can see there is no human being. Based upon this data, the steering will turn left or right, or the accelerator will be pressed, or brake will be pressed. So these vehicles have inbuilt eSIM, and they also work on voice-based navigation system or voice-assisted phone calls. They will also have control on in-car air quality monitoring, remote engine starting. So probably, I think most of you have watched James Bond movies. So these are like what those movies have generated a priori some 10 years or 15 years back. So you are sitting in some cafeteria and just give a command, the engine will start and car will come automatically to the door of the cafeteria. You pay the bill, go out and just send it to your car and go back, rather than waiting for the car to come. And this problem, I think everybody has faced when you go to a shopping mall or when you go to a multiplex. Probably your car is stored 2 stories down, and once you finish the movie or once you finish your shopping in the mall, you go to the basement, maybe basement one, basement two, search your car, start your car, and then come out to the clumsy parking system of the things. So with this car, when you know, like in 10 minutes you are finishing your shopping, and 10 minutes your movie will be finished and you'll be out. You just start your car and your car will do all this navigation and come to the point where you asked it. So as soon as you come out of your mall, you just sit into the car and go to your home. So these vehicles are also capable of over-the-air software updates. So when they are driving, you can update the software also, just like we do over mobile phones also, smartphones. And incidentally, uh, lakhs of cars are already running on the Indian roads. These types of cars, although the level of smartness varies. Some of them are really smart, some of them are not that smart. But even if you like the modern cars which have your voice-based navigation system, there are also some smart automotive applications there. So you give a command, and like for example, you give command to Alexa. Same way you give command to your cars. Also, you say that, okay, at the next intersection, take a left turn, or tell me what will be coming in the next intersection. The car will tell you is this actually. Or maybe you play with your music system, or you make a phone call while you are driving. That is all the different level of smartness you have. The next thing is a smart agriculture. As I told you, the purpose of this lecture is to give different examples, different case studies. So this is an example of smart agriculture where a farmer with a smart mobile phone in his hand will take control of the sunlight, temperature, moisture, life cycle, humidity, and maybe make the farming a much better, enriching experience, which will also lead to the improvement in the quality of the vegetables or quality of the farming. So this refers to the managing farms using modern information and communication technologies to have optimized control over the quality and quantity of the products. And in the process, the human labor or human efforts are saved. So these are these technologies which are available in present days. Farmers are all this information is basically captured through sensors. So sensors can control the sunlight, temperature, moisture in the ground, humidity level in the atmosphere, the life cycle of the plants. Everything is collected by the sensors, and through a smartphone, through the sensors, they are sent to the cloud. From the cloud, this information is captured by the mobile phone, and the farmer can take a decision. If the farmer knows that the level of humidity is high, so somehow he'll try to reduce the humidity level. If you find out that the water content is low in the ground, he will lead to the drainage system of the farming, and maybe he sprinkle the water into the farms so that the water level improves in the ground. So then we have smart logistics. It's a part of a supply chain where goods moved from a warehouse to a ship to a truck, or maybe the pickup plants, cranes. So you can see these are all goods which are kept in a factory or a warehouse, and all these things, even the goods are have sensors and Wi-Fi enabled devices which send the data to the cloud. Same way, the ship will have this data. The trucks pick up and drop trucks have also this data. So everything, like whatever goods are being collected, where the vehicles are moving, everything is connected to uh, internet, and this goes to the cloud, and that will lead to the smartness in logistics, so we can control. So if the goods have to move with larger distance, and if the water is a better way, it will go to the things, and they can keep on tracking. Like for example, this is a tracker. So whenever the trucks pass through these pillar, the information we send that, okay, milestone 480 has been these trucks have passed the milestone 480. So they will say that, okay, now they will reach Jabalpur. This will reach Jabalpur in half an hour. This has left Jabalpur half an hour before. All this information will be captured. So these are like product vehicles that process auto identification tags and sensors to capture real-time data about objects, environment, and they're able to communicate data with others within the network. And these features make the entire process flexible, and extendable, as well as intelligent. So these are like technology-driven products where which makes these products into a smart logistics, and it will also lead to the improvement in the city environment, making a city also a smart city. Smart city is like all of you know. I'll come to that also. Then we have a smart healthcare. That this is so-called, for example, reception of a hospital, where everything is recorded on internet through Wi-Fi. So whether some patient comes who wanted, so this is a way phone call, smartphone is synced with the system, and you have, for example, a heart care monitor, heart rate monitor. The information goes to the hospital. You have a reception. You have disease, nutrition calculator. Even a doctor is there into your pocket. For example, to a mobile phone, your sleep tracker, your remote. I think in COVID environment, most of us face this music that whenever we have ailment and we can't go to doctor, we remotely try to consult a doctor. Most of the good hospital chains have provided this facility. So if I want to talk to, for example, a good doctor in Kokilabad and Mumbai, sitting in my office at home, I could talk to him. I can take consultancy level also. You have blood sugar levels also, the body control, the research on different activities like this say smart band or smart watch, and there's a SOS call also which can be monitored where some patient has major health issue. So the ambulance immediately is sent wherever the nearest ambulance will reach in the fastest possible time, pick him up or pick her up and come to the hospital. This is smart healthcare. So smart healthcare consists of three important components. The first is regional, second is hospital, and third is the family. And they rely only on information and healthcare, or rely information and communication technology-based environment, basically based on IoT-enabled operating systems. And the major objective is to improve existing patient care procedures, and in the process, if feasible, to introduce some new features which will be beneficial for the patient care or for the patient health. Smart industrial business, the business for industry, like for example, through this tab, you can control, you can monitor and control most of the things. So you have worker, you have, for example, some activities, some light, some factory, some data, the transportation, the power generation, the pick and place type of activities. So smart businesses are those that adopt emerging new technologies in a way that delivers the business strategy, excellence in the operation, both core operation as well as supply chain operation also, and pushes the information technology development into the hands of operation teams. So this is the place where OT and IT connects together very importantly. And this is what I was telling in the beginning of my lecture, that information technology is what like computer science people deal with. Operation technology is what engineers deal with. And for any system to be smart, there has to be proper integration between OT and IT. Then smart city, a buzzword, particularly for last 4 5 years, when the government of India has launched like completion and mega funds for the smart cities. So smart cities has, again, everything is the data is collected through sensors. It goes to a cloud from where that data is downloaded by maybe, for example, the district administration or smart city management team. Incidentally, the government of India has launched it into a smart city vehicle, and where these companies take care of all the data and take decisions which are for the benefit of the people of the city. Maybe, for example, uh, there's some breakage in the water supply line. So in one part of the city, the water is not leaking, the water is not reaching. So that data is put on the internet, and immediately the Nagar Nigam or the municipal corporation will come to know that there is a water problem in some part of the city, and they will go and take corrective action as fast as possible. So smart city deals with, for example, retail industry, they deal with security, they deal with retail, they deal with some information thing, the society, the healthcare, the home, the energy, and the mobility, transportation. You can see the on the road vehicles, the metro, the public buses, everything is being connected through this smart city. So these are basically they use IoT devices such as connected sensors, lights, and meters to collect and analyze the data. Then cities these uses this data to improve infrastructure, public utilities and services, and more. So when you talk about smart city is, has basically four important dimensions. That is social infrastructure, physical infrastructure, institutional infrastructure, which includes the governance, what we call as e-governance also. So for example, I am sitting in Sydney and I want to take some certificate from the municipal corporation. So I sitting at Sydney, I should be able to do it rather than coming to Jabalpur. And economic infrastructure. Basically the center of attention of all these pillars are the citizens of the uh, country or citizen of those cities. So they will be at the beneficial end, which is the. Then we have smart buildings. The smart buildings are again like, for example, they're connected. The entire building is connected. The entire building is Wi-Fi and connected. So you can control the lightning. You can control the power supply. You can control the computers. You can control the security. You can control the power input, heating, energy. Everything can be controlled remotely. So, for example, uh, when the last person is left, the centralized server will close on the lights, heating, ventilation, everything will be closed. And uh, even floor wise also. So when people have left this floor, everything will be closed down. When the people have left this floor, everything will be closed down. And when all the people have left this building or this building, it will be like secure. So nobody can access this building at certain hours when all the people have left out. So these are like the concept of smart buildings. So these are like buildings where the people are allowed to take advantages of latest technological innovation in simple and intuitive way. So for example, this provides smart buildings provide accessibility for disabled. They have automatic door opening, so you just give a call and the door will open up. Fault detection, voice control. So they also use Internet of Things devices like sensors, software, online connectivity to monitor various building characteristics, analyze the data, and generate insights around the usage patterns and trends so that the building operations and building environment is optimized for the best possible comfort of the uh, human beings. Then we have smart retails, and these are these have started coming to India also, but not very large. But if you go abroad, like most of the retails are smart retail. You don't have to go to any vendor or any shopkeeper for the billing. There are kiosks at the end where you just put all the things in front of sensor, and sensor will calculate everything, get the bill for you. You pay at those kiosks and just walk out. So these are what you call as smart self checkout kiosks, and these are like smart ordering kiosks where you order the product so you can see. And this, I think in India, these are more popular in food outlets. For example, you go to McDonald's joint, on the screen, you can see everything you order and you can see that what is the cost of each product. If you order one, if you order two, you get generate your bill, pay over there. Need not take any hard copy because as soon as you pay and you get a invoice number, the same information is sent through internet to the kitchen of McDonald's also or KFC also, and they will start preparing your food. As soon as the food is generated again through internet, the display will be available and you will get a message on the SMS also. You get a SMS on your mobile phone also that your order is ready. You can go and pick it up. And if you want to dine it out, you can down over there. If it's packed one, you can just take and walk it out. So these are small smart shelves also. And this is very interesting thing that when, for example, these are apples and when the quantity of apples is reduced, the the control room will immediately get it filled. So there is smart retail dashboard which will tell you like what are the quantities which are selling at fast and which are the products which which are not selling and what is the possibility of those goods getting spoiled. So everything is controlled over here. So this refers to hybridization of traditional shopping and modern smart technology. So anywhere you have to pick up physically, and all these food items, all these goods, when they are consumed, the shelf has to be refurbished or refilled physically. So that's why it is a hybrid technology. So through Internet of Things, data is accumulated by way of communication between different devices which are implanted in different systems, and this provides consumer more personalized, faster, and smarter experience. Then we have smart energy management system, where the input from the grids goes to the ATS, and we also get the data from, like for example, a diesel power generator, which have a tank, and then it goes to the distribution box, and then we have certain controllers. I'll show you from the next slide. So these are different hardware units. For example, humidity sensor and temperature sensor. Combined call is humidity sensor. We have door sensor, interpretation sensor. This example is for air conditioning system. So we have, for example, the regions are, so these points, we have sampling of energy consumption. The green one are the power supply path. So this gives the power, and the blue one is the air conditioning, environment controlling, and acquiring data flow. And the red is the data flowing from the flow to controller. So the power can also come from the solar and wind energy. We have DC to AC converters, fixed diesel. I already told you, and all this power goes to the air conditioning distribution box. We have supplies power switch. We have DC distribution controller, and we have communication input also. We have smart energy controller, which will say how much energy is being consumed, and the energy consumption is large. Probably it will cut down the AC so that power can be saved. And this is your smart grid. If you can see, or the outer ring of the grid is the power generating unit. So we have nuclear power plant, we have thermal power plant, we have solar power plant, we have wind power plant, and all these energy generated through these towers, they go into the grid. And from these grids, the power is consumed by electrical vehicles, factories, city and buildings, smart city, smart building, and houses also. So this is the grid works. So suppose the thermal power plant, which I think you must be reading in newspaper today also, because of the poor stock of coals in most of the power plants, because of the huge demand due to extreme weather conditions, the many thermal power plants are tripped, or they are not able to generate as much power, but probably that can be taken up by extra power generation from the solar, because solar energy generated is high, or maybe wind, or maybe nuclear. So then the smart grid will have the correct amount of energy, correct amount of power, which can be fed to these consuming devices. So any fall in power generation can be taken care by other units. Same way, any increase in demand or decrease in demand can also be taken care by other input devices. Then we have, so smart grids are fitted with sensors that gather and transmit data, and through this information, they can automatically control the flow of electricity from the power generation unit to the grid, and from the grid to the consuming unit. So probably you are aware that government is driving very heavily to install solar power panels on the rooftop of our houses. And what happens is that, suppose in my house I have installed the solar panel, so whatever electricity is generated, that will go into the grid, and I'll be supplying electricity in my house from the grid only, and I'll be only supposed to pay the difference. So suppose I feed into the grid 10 kilowatt of power, and or 10 megawatt of power, and I'm consuming 12 megawatt of power. So only I have to pay for 2 megawatt. And somehow in summer, suppose I am feeding 10 megawatt of power, and I'm consuming only 7 megawatt. So 3 megawatt will be in negative balance, and that will be stored in my logbook. So tomorrow, if I want to consume more, that can be provided from there, and I'll not be supposed to pay anything extra. Then we talk about smart poultry farms also, a very difficult different application I just wanted to show. This is a poultry farm where the temperature, humidity, weather, everything of the like these chickens is captured and they are fed into the like internet, so that we can take care of the breeding of these chickens or hens in a very positive manner, and that will improve the output of these farms. The hens will be able to lay more eggs. Even the quality of the if people are eating raw meat, that will be improved. So the system will receive measuring temperature and humidity through microcontroller. We also have to install gas sensors to measure the nitrogen, hydrogen, NOx, CO2, benzene level inside the poultry farms. We'll have NG811 sensors to detect the level of carbon dioxide, including the air quality monitoring, and MQ7 is used to detect the carbon monoxide. So if you see, if you're able to control all those things, the environment where these poultries, where these chickens are staying, that will be very good, and obviously their output will be also improved. Then we have smart hotel rooms where through your mobile phone you can control the temperature of the room, you can control the artwork, whether you want to show, whether you can control the lightnings of the, you can also have virtual shades, whether you want to open the shade, open the curtain or not. You have virtual assistant, you can give command, it can play music for you also. And most importantly, they can control the television or the home theater of the hotel room also. So if you want to listen music, they can play music. If you want to watch some channel over the OTT, that can be also watched. So that's what is your smart hotel room, which is again connected by smart electronic devices. And these are basically ordinary devices, but just connected with by some electronics or internet connected devices, so that they can receive data, they can send and receive data, and that data can be effectively communicate with different devices and ultimately give benefit to the retailer. Then we have intelligent transportation system. You can see this like through smart power grid. You can control the lightning, the red, blue, and green lightning. You can also control the distance between different cars, or maybe entry point, exit point. So we have, like for example, distance, vehicle to vehicle communication, inside a vehicle communication, vehicle to infrastructure communication, vehicle to grid communication, light management system, and ultimately we have a traffic management, and more importantly, we'll have a emergency management also. If somebody has met with an accident, that immediately can be fed, or there's some fire, the fire brigade, fire ambulance come. These are the points where you have electric EV charging parking lot. So these systems deliver real-time information like travel time, travel speed, delay, accidents on road, change in route, diversion, work zone conditions. And these information can be delivered by a wide range of electronic devices like variable message signs, highway advisory, radio, internet, SMS, automated cells, etc. So I think I have given you sufficient examples for you to understand what is a cyber physical system, and probably you are able to link what Professor Imre Horvath has told you today, and you will be able to link what he's going to teach you tomorrow and subsequent lectures. I'll finish over here. Time is also not much. I'll probably open for some questions. If any question is there, I can take up. Otherwise, I'll just close this session. Any question anybody has? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So any question or no question? So if no question is there, I've already stopped it. I'll request you once again to please switch on your cameras. We'll take one more shot, and then we'll request all of you to please switch on your cameras. The other people, Ishan, Kushat, Keshav, Mithilesh, Dheeraj, Geeti Ranjan, Rahul. Either they are not having camera or they're just logged in and vanished. Village is moving to Vishak, switch on a camera. I have not opened my camera. Nobody's sitting there. I have not opened my camera. Hello. Okay, thank you. You can talk if you want, and we'll close this lecture and we'll meet again tomorrow uh, at Indian time 2 p.m. So please make sure that you log in 5 minutes before. Professor Howard normally logs in 15 minutes before. You should be on time, and we'll start with tomorrow's lecture. So I'm just stopping the recording and stopping the live streaming also. So Vijay, again, most of it has gone to you.
Yeah. Okay. I will end the meeting then. Anil, implementation part actually we will not be able to cover full. We will be giving you some idea and then we will be able to do it.
Okay, sir.
The theory behind and how to do that.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so if no further question,